Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to this special session on critical reasoning. So, first let's see what's cooking today. What are we going to serve you today? What is that you're going to learn today? So, see, there are three important questions regarding critical reasoning that people are asking at this stage when the notifications are out and they have started their preparation. They have gotten an idea that what they need to do in the next few months. So, in that, there are some confusions that they are having regarding critical reasoning. And what are they? One is, some people are asking, sir, can we skip critical reasoning? Right? So that's the first question. Second question, if we cannot skip critical reasoning, when do we start? Right? Because there is always a mental makeup that critical reasoning is something that comes in mains. So would it do if we start it just before mains? So that's another question. Second, how to prepare critical reasoning, when we to start, and whether we should start, those are there. But how do we do it actually? When we prepare, how do we start preparation, and how do we prepare critical reasoning? So that's the third question. And finally, I am also going to give you a bonus tip regarding critical reasoning and life as well, right? So this is what is cooking for you today. So let's jump in. The first question, can you leave CR altogether? There are very few questions. You may feel, why to do critical reasoning at the first place? I'll not answer this, right? I'll share with you some data, and on the basis of it, together we'll try and find an answer for that, right? So, first data, and this is the data that is given to you or that is shared with you, or what you know normally about critical reasoning is that direct critical reasoning questions, there are some of them in the reasoning section or in the English section, and sometimes some in reasoning, some in English section, but that would be of the tune of 8 to 10 marks in the mains paper, right? So this is what you know, right? Sometimes it goes more than that, 12-14 marks, but normally this is the average. But what normally students do not know, or they do not have an idea about, is some things that we are going to discuss now. RC questions. RC is reading comprehension, right? Year on year, people talk about RC getting tough, RC getting more difficult, and when we ask them what is more difficult in it, now they would say that there are no direct questions, there are inferential questions, right? Questions where you will have to go beyond the passage and understand and tell them what exactly is happening. So, my dear friend, what kind of questions these are? Aren't these critical reasoning application questions? They are, isn't it? So, if you look at RC, even in pre-level RC questions, we see critical reasoning application questions. No direct questions, very few direct questions, but critical reasoning application based question, where you are asked, what does the author imply? Where you are asked, what can you conclude from this line? What can be inferred except, right? All of these questions are nothing but application of critical reasoning questions. And almost 50% of the mains RC paper is inferential based, critical reasoning based, right? So, we will have to take this also in account. Third, non-RC critical reasoning application oriented questions, as in parajumble, paracompletion, summary based questions. They are also based out of the basic logic of critical reasoning. So, we get 5 to 8 questions in both pre and mains, whether it is in pre parajumble questions or whether it is in mains paracompletion, parajumble or summary questions. We get these questions often, right? So, this is another application of critical reasoning that we see. Next, finally, critical reasoning is that part of the preparation that develops your objective thinking, your process, your thought process, thought clarity is something that is developed by critical reasoning. And I do not need to tell you, you have more common sense than me to know that having a good analytical skills, having good objective ability to analyze something is not only useful for this exam, but it is useful for everything that you do in life, right? So based on this, based on what we just saw, now let me ask you that question. Should you leave CR? Now, is leaving CR something that you can afford to do? No, right? So the first question's answer is no, and why is it no? I have given you the reasons for that. Okay, right? Now, the second question, when to start CR? Now, as I told you in the first slide only, that a lot of people say that it is something which we get in only mains. So why to do it in pre or before pre, right? Now, if you realize on the basis of the data that we have got in the previous slide, that is definitely a wrong notion that is there in the minds of people, right? So the notion that CR and CR application is only in mains and not in pre, that's a wrong notion that we saw, right? So therefore, our deciding not to do CR before pre on the basis of this argument that it comes in only mains would also be wrong, right? So CR concepts and basic application. So when to start CR? CR concepts and basic application need to be started alongside reading comprehension without fail, and they need to be completed before in the next 1.5 months only, so that not only you have an idea about how you can use the critical reasoning concepts to answer critical reasoning questions, but also how you can apply them to answer reading comprehension question, because whether critical reasoning direct questions comes in pre or not, RC is going to come, na? Right? And here also there is another way to look at it, and this is something that people don't understand. Your reading comprehension scores, or rather your understanding of reading comprehension, your ability to score good in reading comprehension, in the part where we say comprehension skills, that entirely depends upon your critical reasoning skills, critical thinking skills. And that is why in our course we do critical reasoning and RC together. Why do we do it? Because that's the way it should be learned. The person who wants to be good at reading, understanding, needs to have an understanding of CR. Then only he would or she would become good at reading and comprehension. Okay, right? So that's the right way to do it. So if you are studying by yourself, if you are studying with us, you don't need to worry, just follow the pattern in which we would be teaching you and it would be done. And if you are studying by yourself, please understand, first 10-15 days focus on creating a reading habit. Okay, that's the first 15 days. In the first 15 days, don't do CR. Focus on creating a reading habit 15-20 days, and then go ahead with the concepts of critical reasoning. Parallelly, keep on reading, right? Keep on reading. Even if you don't solve RC question in the next 15 days, it's okay. After the first 20 days, it's okay, but complete your CR concepts by then. Okay? And from then onwards, do CR practice, basic practice, and RC practice. Okay? Extensive practice. Now, that's the way you should go ahead. Okay? If you are preparing by yourself. Advanced practice, questions which are difficult, questions which are challenging, those advanced practice that can be done after pre, right? Okay, so this is how you should plan your preparation if you are preparing by yourself. Final question, how to prepare, right? So when to prepare, I told you, but how to prepare? See, if you are again preparing with us, you have to follow sincerely what we say and you would be prepared. But if you are preparing by yourself, then these are the things that you need to do. First, go through our CR playlist. Now, our critical reasoning playlist is, it might look like boasting, but believe me, there are students who have gone through our CR playlist, not only for bank exams, but for CAT, ZAT exams, MBA entrance exams, right? So where the component of CR is more, significantly more than the bank exams. For those exams also, and more challenging also, for those exams also they have referred to our CR playlist. So you should definitely take the benefit of it because it has been made for you, right? Okay, go through it thoroughly, understand each question, the way I approach it, the way I explained everything in there, the basics, the concepts, right, thoroughly. If necessary, go through every lecture multiple times. Okay, practice from sectional mocks, full length mocks of the test series that you have taken. And one of the most important things in CR is to discuss, to debate. Okay, now how do you discuss? So take any forum where you are a member of, like for example Meritshine FB group. Discuss CR questions there with your peer group, right? So if you are preparing with us, discuss in the closed group the questions. You would see a lot of people are discussing in the closed group the questions of CR, so that their understanding increases in it. Because when you discuss, you argue your case, the other person argues his case, you sort of understand where you are getting wrong or where you are getting right, right? Plus obviously in the Meritshines Facebook groups, we are always there to moderate, to look out for. So if there is some confusion, we would pitch in and guide you. And finally, inculcate a habit of asking questions to your questions, right? Okay, so it's a bit of circular logic, but it's very, very important. You have to ask a question. That's how you would increase your ability to critically think. Okay, right? So this is how to prepare. Now finally, time for the bonus tip that I told you I would give you, right? I have answered all your questions. Now the bonus tip for CR and life. My dear friends, one thing is very important in life, which is a life skill, I would say, and that is your ability to think from the perspective of the person who is making the argument. So you're interacting with a person and that person is saying something. Argument here does not mean obviously arguing something or debating something. No, argument here means the critical reasoning argument. In one of my classes I have explained what argument is in critical reasoning. Go through it, right? The links of all the lectures would be there, the playlist link would be there. Now when a person is giving an argument, that means he is concluding on the basis of something. So you would understand his perspective only when you start thinking in his perspective. And even if he is wrong, you would be able to pinpoint that out in a better way only when you understand how he is creating his argument. Okay? So starting to think in the perspective of the person who is making the argument is primarily important in critical reasoning as well as life. And who can be making an argument? The author, the speaker. In case of critical reasoning, in case of your exam, it is author, right? In case of interviews, in case of group discussions, it would be speaker. In case of your professional life, customer, your boss. In case of your personal life, your parents, your friends, right? That's why I said that this is as important in CR as well as your whole life. Okay, right? So this was the bonus tip which would help you all through your life, and go ahead and learn critical reasoning. It is one of the most important and interesting skill, life skill for you. And if you learn it, well, I am telling you, your horizons, the way you understand that horizon would expand. And you would feel that particular situation where you could see only 2-3 things to infer, now you are able to analyze it from multiple facets, right? Because your understanding has grown. Okay? So that would be all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. See you in the next lecture. Bye bye and all the best.